Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are now at serial number 020 of the series Defeat the Shaitan. In the previous session, we spoke about how the Shaitan attacks from the front. He tells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I will sit in front of them on the straight path, on the Siratul Mustaqim. And we went through some of the ways by which he could attack the people from the front. Now, we must understand that his concentration will be more to attack those who are doing their best to remain on the straight path. They fight and they struggle against the temptations and the waswasa of the shaitan, and they stick to the truth. He is not able to attack them directly. So what does he do? He sets others against them. He sets other people against these people who are on the straight path, criticizing them, accusing them, even to the extent of punishing them. History is replete with examples of not only the prophets, but also many scholars being tortured and even killed. But then Allah has for them a special place in Jannah. Dunya is not their permanent place. It's a temporary place. So they land up permanently in Jannah for all that they went through to uphold the truth and hold tightly to the rope of Allah. Now we move to his attacks from behind. The immediate imagery of what is behind us is our history. Yesterday has become history for us. It will never ever come back again to us. The shaitan will use your past against you. He knows all that you have gone through. He knows your experiences. He knows what you have lived through. So we are the sum of our experiences. Our past impacts the way we think, our emotions, and even our future decisions. Now the shaitan will manipulate them and mess us up the way we think, and he tries to get us away from the straight path. Now, you always keep thinking that whatever comes to your mind are your own thoughts. No, they are not your thoughts. They are the waswasa of the shaitan. And you may fall back into something which you were already fallen into before. With great difficulty you have come out, but again he tries to put you into the same pit again. For example, let's take one part of it. Maybe you used to be a better person. You were diligent with your ibadah, you avoided haram, you were sticking to halal, and you were doing the best that you can that would please Allah. So you tell yourself, there was a time when I was a better person. I used to feel so connected to Allah. I am disappointed with myself now. Immediately the shaitan tells you that is something of the past. It's dead. It's not going to come back. This is who you are now. In this way, he will make you give up on your own self. The reality is that if Allah made you capable of living in a certain way, living at a certain standard, and you upheld it and you achieved it, it means you were capable of it forever. You're a proof to your own self. But what does the shaitan do? He makes you feel that whatever experiences you have gone through, you will never be able to get that again. You will not get your khushu. You will not be able to concentrate. You will not be able to live the particular life with khushu. So he attacks your spiritual sense. He tries to mess you up, not emotionally, but spiritually. Messes you up with your connection to Allah. He tells you, you have gone through so many experiences. What's the good of prayer? They don't count anymore. He makes you think of the better days and tells you those days are not going to come back again. Another approach of the shaitan, about the bad experiences that you had, questioning, why did this happen to me? Some of the trials that Allah put us through are not easy. And when you think of what happened, it is really very painful. It could be paralyzing. Almost reliving the events that happened in the past. What bad experience we had in our past could also be due to our own weaknesses, our own faults, our own ego, and our own lack of iman. The shaitan does not allow us to retrospect in this way. Instead, what does he do? He makes you play the blame game. I am right, they are not right. So, instead of rectifying yourself for the present and future, you always end up thinking that you were right and the other person was wrong. And this attitude we carry over for the present and the future, and we live our life preferring to find fault with anything positive that may come in front of us, as a result of which we never get anywhere. Another way the shaitan wants to keep you there, keep you thinking of the past, he keeps you questioning, why did it happen to you? And you may say, maybe I'm cursed. Maybe I deserve this. Maybe I'm useless. I'm no good. Maybe Allah is angry with me. That is why He made this happen to me, etc., etc. So what happens? You live those moments that happened some time ago that Allah brought you out of, but the shaitan does not want you to come out of it. He wants you to live in that state of hopelessness. He wants you to be convinced just the way he is convinced that there is no hope. Because we are thinking of all that all the time, we end up with not just anger towards people who hurt us, but we turn our anger, na'udhu billah, to Allah. When you look at the experiences that the prophets went through, there is one thing you will appreciate. All the prophets had extremely difficult lives. The best example is the example of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was an orphan. There was nobody to take care of him continuously. Finally, he lands up with Abu Talib. He experiences the loss of his wife Khadija radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, his children, his uncle Abu Talib himself, and the opposition of the disbelievers. All these he is facing all alone. So, where we are concerned, these pains that we experience in life are not a proof that Allah has cursed us, or that He is angry with us, or that He is punishing us. No, that is not the case. Because some of the best people who ever lived had very difficult lives. And this life of ours is made with difficulties, with trials, and we have to learn to navigate through them. Not become depressed, not become negative. So, shaitan always wants us to figure out a way by which we can blame Allah for it. Just the way he blamed Allah, and because of which he got cast out immediately. He was thrown out. He uses that past bad experience to take others along with him. Now, another way he uses your past is, maybe in the past we had committed some sins, or we had some bad company that led us towards a sin which we kept falling into. And then at some point of time, we figure out a way to make tawbah to Allah, and we decide to cut off those relationships. And we say what they are, those people are answerable to Allah. But since I'm also answerable to Allah, as long as I am in that bad company, there are more chances of my sinning. So I'm going to pull away as much as I can, and I will fix myself with Allah. You know who those people are in your life. They are the ones who were pulling you into sin. Whether they realize it or not, maybe it's not even their fault, but it is a test for you. Now, since you recognize that, you tell yourself, every time I fall into sins, I'm going to move away from these people, not because I hate these people, not because I'm better than them, not because I want them to suffer, but because I want to save myself. When you do this, what does the shaitan come and say? He will come and say, don't you miss that old friendship? Don't you miss this part? Don't you miss the fun we had at that time? Don't you miss all this that we felt earlier? He wants you to go back. The same way people left sin, left drugs and their evil deeds, they got out of it, they walked away from it, and they changed. But then the shaitan triggers you. Hey, you are going through hard times. You have gone through a lot. Just go back one time. Don't go forever. Just go back one time. And you know what that used to be like? The famous saying is, everything forbidden is desirable. A person has just got out of drugs. It has taken a lot of effort to get him out of drugs. He faces a difficult time. The shaitan says, why don't you just take a little of the drug? You're in such a horrible condition. Why not you feel nice again? He doesn't say go fully into drugs. He just go one step. It's okay. And don't be there forever. Once you feel a little better, you can come back. So while we develop a hatred towards those sins we committed earlier, we must also understand at the end of the day, we are also human beings. And human beings have temptations and desires. And depending on our temptations and desires, the shaitan wants to manipulate this. He will try to pull us back. You felt so much easier at that time, so why deny yourself now? Nobody is going to find out. Just do it. This is the way he keeps drawing us to what it used to be. So you have to be very mindful of that. Now, shaitan does not necessarily tell us to do the wrong thing. He just wants you to take one step. He tells you the destination is far away. Don't worry, you will not go into that bad scenario. You will not become that bad. Just take one step. You have not made much progress at all. Just one step. And you're not going to feel any harm. It's like saying there is a fire far away. He makes you go towards the fire. Supposing the fire is about 1 kilometer away, and he tells you to take one step towards it. Are you going to feel any hotter? He's okay with that one step. And at that time, if somebody tells you, hey, what are you doing? You'll say, hey, what's wrong did I do? What wrong did I do? I didn't go near, I didn't touch it. There's nothing wrong with that. Then the shaitan encourages, yes, not just a little bit, just a little. Come on, just one more. And can you imagine, this is what he did with our parents, Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam. Just recall, the entire size of Jannah is the size of the entire universe. And this Jannah is covered with endless trees. Now, from all these endless trees, how many trees were forbidden to Adam alayhi salam? Just one in this endless universe of trees. So even if that one tree was forbidden, staying away from it would be very easy, because it will be hard to find the tree. And yet what did the shaitan do? He got them there step by step, step by step. He will not tell them to do haram. He will somehow mask it, and he made them take the wrong step. So may Allah make us realize, when we are tempted to go back to our past, which has been bad, which we have not been able to reconcile with, may the shaitan not draw us away from the good that we are trying to do. And whatever good we have done before, may we renew our heart and strengthen our heart to move forward with that good, instead of just giving up and taking all these negative feelings that we have within us. Inshallah. Ameen. Allahumma inna nas'aluka imanan mustaqima wa fadlan da'ima wa nazar rahma wa ilman nafi'a wa akhlan kamila wa qalban munawwara wa tawfiqan ihsana وتوبة نصوحا وصبرا جميلا وأجرا عظيما ولسانا ذاكرا وبدنا صابرا ورزقا واسعا وسعيا مشكورا وذنبا مغفورا وعملا مقبولا ودعاء مستجابا وجنة الفردوس نعيما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.